Okay, so this guy here, it's an old iPhone. There's no passcode on it. It does pick up the Wi-Fi inside, and if you fiddle with this long enough, you can get yourself some music. This is a commercial. I don't know if you can see it underneath there, but it has two different settings. It's a commercial grow light. I actually got it from a guy who was growing pot up here. Um, excellent, excellent, excellent seed start table here. I will just tell you that. But really a great place to hang out. There's actually my wife used to come out here sometimes in the wintertime, and we actually have a little space heater here that kicks on if you got the light switch on again. And of course, this is the light switch for the main bistro lights. So if you switch this one to off, your bistro lights in here will not come on at all. Other than that, there's some spare lights, string of lights down here, I believe. All of your gardening stuff is down here. Okay, and I don't think there's anything else to talk about here. When I measure, you will see that if you want to ever measure uh, what your oil level is in here, I have a table that's on the clipboard in the laundry area wall. I'll show it to you when we go through. That's where I have my 911 call, uh, folks. If I have any trouble up here because we're an hour away, there's nurses in the area that can be here in seconds. Any kind of other needs, the whole directory of people that live up here, plus the database charts, the spreadsheets for both this 1,000 gallon and the 300 gallon on the other side. So I'll just open this up. I'll drop a stick straight down till it gets to the bottom, pull it out, measure the depth, then I'll run that against the 1,000 gallon round. You'll see it on the table. This is an air vent for the oil so that you don't get vacuumed on the tank. So it's kind of important that you'll have snow buildup here to keep this area around here clear for oil. The other thing that happens is you get a pretty good buildup here. Um, and so when it starts to warm up, you'll see this really coming down. It'll look very ominous when it comes down, but what it does is it kind of comes down onto the backside of the 1,000 gallon tank. It'll sandwich sort of between the greenhouse for a few weeks until it melts off. So not too big of a deal. All right, well, I'm going to walk around the backside. I think that's just about wraps up the outdoor stuff. Yeah, and then we're back to the beginning. So the one place I didn't stop yet was the underneath the cabin. So don't know how well the light is, so I'll poke my head in there and see what we got. This is the exhaust right here from the oil-fired furnace. Okay, don't know how well you can see here, but this is the line that comes from the oil-fired furnace. This is the duct working going out for the heating. This here is the line for the drainage. So that's what is the soft water. Water softener is draining too when it recycles and cleans that is also fed by the humidifier, the whole home humidifier. So as you can see, it was a big struggle, but we got vapor barrier down here. I will tell you that it stays about 45 to 55 degrees down here, even when it's neg degrees outside. It stays very warm underneath this cabin. The ground is bone dry. We never have any issues with it. So now you have double protection. That vapor barrier. You have a ton more. This is a commercial heavy 6 mil stuff. You got a bunch of roll left over there. And the rest of what you see in here is just a little bit of everything that's overflow. So I have some propane tanks that are in here. These, as you can see, you'll dig around and you'll sort of discover some of the stuff. There's hose water timers. There's taping. There's plumbing, sheetrocking stuff. There's painting stuff. All kinds of, I think there's even, some weed killer here. You have a good chainsaw. Also have a gas-powered weed eater. You have an electric weed eater. You have a couple of blowers. Then on this side, it's your power washer. I always put the power washer in here because I don't want it to crack. If it's got water, I don't want it to freeze. And I don't know if you're a welder, but there is a welding station down here, and in one of the bins along here, there's mask welding rods, the works. Here are the rest of the chairs, the lawn chairs. There's a mosquito eater as well. These things run about $600. And then there's some yard games. You've got more of your weed eating stuff. There's some suitcases, I think, back in here. I'm not positive, but I believe that's what's back there. And a lot of camping gear. So you can see some of it. There's coolers. These two are 12 by 12 nets. This is a bed, more chairs. There's a tent in here. There's a Coleman stove. Pretty much all your, one of these, I think that some of these bins back here have all of the camping gear in them. Inflatable beds. There is a dog kennel back here as well. It was here when I got here. This is the whole home heater. Not heater. Whole home humidifier I was talking about. It sounds like a jet engine. And then on this side, you have some overflow Christmas decor. Most of the Christmas decor is that you would use to decorate, that we've been decorating with, is in the family room area, and I'll show that to you. Also, tile saw, what I used to cut all the tile for the bathroom remodel in the main bath. You see some floor tile. There's some leftover. There's pretty much replacement floor planking, tiles for everything in the cabin. It's all down here. So I keep it stored down here. It's warm. It's dry. It's a great place to put things that you don't use that often. Oh, I do leave these lights on. Their switch is right here. There is a red power cord right here. Okay, remember when I was in the treehouse, I was talking about the power cord. So this power cord runs down here. You can see it runs out over to the tree. That's what runs the bistro lights, all on this side, the dusk to dawn timer, and the two cameras up there. So you don't want to flip that switch off, because if you flip the switch off, you won't have any lights on this side. But that's, if you don't have any lights, that's why. This other one here is a switch for outdoor flood, which I do not and have not used, because the bistro lights provide plenty of juice. But you can see there's a motion flood up there, up in the corner. Okay. Well, I'm going to go under the deck, tell you a little bit about what's over here, and then I'll wind up at the shop and we'll call that a wrap. So there's quite a bit of spare parts and pieces in the Connex box, but you also can see all of that really nice siding. It's all been stacked. And then I've got some miscellaneous wood on top. This here is a very important instrument. This is your snowblower. So it has a plug to auto crank it for you. Uh, Self-explanatory. There's also a table saw right there. Works fine. There's a log splitter. Here is a homemade squirrel catcher. It's a live catcher that I made that works like a champ. This here is a couple more propane tanks, my stow of ladders, more spare stuff underneath here. This is what we do low country boil. So this is a burner pot setup. Clean on the inside, just needs to be cleaned up before you use it. And then on this side, spare gas cans, an extra piece of Connex for an extra fire ring. There's some parts, also covers for the cover for the fire ring up on the deck, and some snow shovels for sure. Which brings us back to the shop. So, like I said before, pretty much everything you need you're going to be able to find underneath the cabin or in the shop. I would say out of the 20 or 30 times I've needed a part for something, I've been able to find it. So you've got plenty of extension cords, your stains in this corner. We'll talk a little bit more about the spa stuff. I need to break that into sort of a separate discussion. And then, of course, all of your supplies. And, you know, I'd advise you just someday when you have some time, just come in and go through this. This is, these right here are my tools. I'm taking them with me. I just have them here because I've been walking around everywhere I go to keep them with me so that I can have tools. I've packed all my tools. Again, all your pieces and parts. There's more supplies down here. This is all paints. You do have some welding. I'm sorry, some a plumbing toolbox. It's not that. I think it sits on the other side of it. You have, I think, 2 or 3 snakes. This right here is if you're inside of your furnace, if your firing motor that pumps the oil in, sprays the oil. It's a Beckett. This is a spare one. They're very expensive and they're very hard to come by. So there's a spare one right there if you ever run into a situation where you need one. I think we've talked about everything else in here. So I'm going to call this a wrap.